नमस्कार। एसएमई एक्सप्रेस में आज हम ग्रीन पर फोकस करेंगे। दरअसल बदलते दौर में सस्टेनेबिलिटी की अहमियत लगातार बढ़ रही है। हम इसके तमाम पहलुओं पर विस्तार से बात करेंगे, क्योंकि कारोबार में न केवल ग्रोथ के लिए बल्कि एमएसएमईज को बने रहने के लिए भी ग्रीन की ओर कदम बढ़ाना ही होगा। वहीं सेशन के दौरान हम स्किलिंग के पहलू पर भी जोर देंगे। हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं डॉक्टर एस ग्लोरी स्वरूपा, डायरेक्टर जनरल नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर माइक्रो स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस NI MSME, राजा एम षणमुगम, पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट तिरुपुर एक्सपोर्टर्स एसोसिएशन, नॉन ऑफिशियल मेंबर बोर्ड ऑफ ट्रेड, और साथ ही मौजूद हैं अर्नब चक्रवर्ती, डायरेक्टर इंडिया यूएन्स एम्प्रेटेक प्रोग्राम। आप सभी का शुक्रिया, थैंक यू। शुरुआत करते हैं मिस्टर षणमुगम से। षणमुगम जी, ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजीज को अडॉप्ट करना और सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी को बढ़ावा देना समय की जरूरत है। जहां तक बात तिरुपुर की है, ये एमएसएमईज का एक मेजर हब है। आपके यहां एंटरप्रेन्योर्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी के फ्रंट पर कैसे कदम बढ़ा रहे हैं?
Tirupur is epitome center of MSMEs only, and nowadays the sustainability is the clarion call across the globe happens, and Tirupur is getting tuned on its own to address this sustainability on very many ways, and we are definitely being an MSME cluster on the whole. We are definitely far ahead in this direction. On summative basis and now on the certainty basis also, because on water conservation we are making a zero liquid discharge practice for the last 1 decade and above, and thereby water conservation is also happening, and moreover we have the green energy production program in place, and where the cluster is consuming around 300 megawatt electricity, but we have got connected more than 2,100 megawatt to the grid and through green energy. Nearly last 10 years, we have planted more than 22 lakh trees. 2.2 million trees across this cluster. So these are all the initiatives taken to address the sustainable requirement of the globe.
अर्नब, ज्यादातर स्मॉल बिजनेसेस के लिए ग्रीन पर काम करना एक एडिशनल कॉस्ट की तरह रहता है। आपका असेसमेंट क्या कहता है? साथ ही तिरुपुर क्लस्टर से क्या बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस पिक की जा सकती हैं?
Quality, cost and efficiency are usually unrelated or uncorrelated elements in the productivity matrix that are pulling in different directions. Now, if a cluster is able to understand that these are, all of these elements need to be worked upon together, then in tactical day-to-day operations, as well as in building capacity of entrepreneurs through long-term investments, the idea is to increase the size of this triad: better, faster, and cheaper. So in Tirupur, I can see that there has been considerable investment in making concerted efforts to move beyond the pressures of the moment into innovation and sustainable development. Is that there seems to be a balance between profit, people, and planet in the cluster. So it's possible that they understand as a good practice that a balance between all three and making investments in all three are extremely important. I can say with some confidence that entrepreneurs who actively balance their efforts and operations and resources in investments across people, profit, and planet tend to gain goodwill from all concerned in their ecosystems.
डॉक्टर ग्लोरी, सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ और लो कार्बन इकोनॉमी के लिए सिडबी और AFD फ्रांस के बीच एग्रीमेंट हुआ है, जिसके तहत $100 मिलियन की क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी होगी ताकि ग्रीन फाइनेंसिंग सॉल्यूशंस का दायरा बढ़ाया जा सके। इस पर आपकी राय?
This is very, very great initiative that SIDBI and AFD they have signed an MOU, and they will be funding with $100 million. And this credit facility being extended by SIDBI, it will, is a very, very long-term strategy to help the MSMEs. See, unless though the UN goals say that we have to go green, and our national priorities also now slowly we are accelerating towards sustainability and to adopt green practices. But unless there is a dedicated fund, it is very difficult for whether a micro unit or small enterprises to get into these practices and get into the compliances and modifications in the floor level.
मिस्टर शनमुगम, ग्रीन फाइनेंसिंग सॉल्यूशंस पर आपका क्या नजरिया होगा और इसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पर क्या आप कोई सुझाव देना चाहेंगे?
Now the switch over to this green technologies and techniques need to be facilitated by speedy service to the MSMEs instead of going on the delays and all those things need to be culled out from the SIDBI's practice. That's what I want to emphasize here, because though it is a very supportive gesture and program, it need to be reached to the individual entities in a faster and speedier manner.
डॉक्टर ग्लोरी, क्या आप मानते हैं ग्रीन और सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी पर सपोर्ट करने के लिए रैंप के तहत गिफ्ट और स्पाइस स्कीम्स भी हैं? इस पर आप क्या व्यूज रखते हैं?
Yeah, these two schemes are very, very relevant schemes because RAM scheme, again, it is funded by World Bank, and sustainability is one of the very important aspect while, emphasizing on the exports and also concentrating on the digitalization. So under these two schemes, this is green investment and financing for transformation.
अर्नब, यूएन के एम्प्रेटेक प्रोग्राम में एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के बिहेवियर्स पर काम होता है, तो ग्रीन और लीन को कैसे बिहेवियर्स के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना चाहिए?
With respect to the behaviors, I think it's important for entrepreneurs to set goals that connect with the here and now, based on higher order thinking, which is to say that there are forces that are affecting you at the moment, which are going to affect your tomorrow. Investments in green and lean programs within enterprises are about making investments in programs and projects that do not necessarily turn to results immediately, but are investments over the longer term. So it's extremely important to look at goal setting as a behavior, both at the level of founders of enterprises and also at perhaps a cluster level, as Dr. Shanmugam. To us, behaviors are bridges, and behaviors need to be worked upon. Now, we work on about 30 behaviors. I'll not recount all of them here, but the 10 broad, let's call them clusters of competencies that we work with are goal setting, information seeking, systematic planning and monitoring, persistence, commitment, opportunity seeking and initiative, calculated risk taking, persuasion and networking, and independence and self-confidence. Now, all of these have to be demonstrated by entrepreneurs at individual and at enterprise levels, and perhaps at higher ecosystem development levels.
आइए आगे बढ़ते हैं। मिस्टर शनमुगम, बात बड़े प्लेयर्स की हो या ग्लोबल वैल्यू चेन्स की, सस्टेनेबिलिटी की अहमियत दिन ब दिन बढ़ती जा रही है। एक्सपोर्ट बाजार में भी नॉर्म्स स्ट्रिक्ट हो रहे हैं। व्हाट इज योर एनालिसिस?
The government agencies need to come forward to handle the MSMEs in a very healthy manner, to make them to survive in a healthy manner, and to adapt to this new technique and technologies swiftly to the requirement of the global order. Because Tirupur is geared up on its own by their own understanding. This is an example cluster could be followed. But in general, we have to have this factor in place that the government support and the agency support, and that too swift support need to be provided to the to facilitate the adaptation to the global order.
डॉक्टर ग्लोरी, इंडिया के नेट जीरो टारगेट की जहां तक बात है, क्या आपको लगता है एमएसएमईज की भूमिका काफी क्रूशल होगी? इसके लिए क्या एडिशनल सपोर्ट या इंसेंटिव्स की भी जरूरत होगी?
MSME's role will be very, very crucial to achieving this net zero, because um, how MSME's role is very significant in contribution of GDP. Similarly, Ministry of MSME we are doing is JEF UNIDO project, that is Global Environment Facility, and UNIDO, United Nations Industry and Development Organization. So put together, they are implementing a very, very important scheme that is thermal efficiency, improving the thermal efficiency of the industrial boilers to reduce these carbon emissions in MSME sector. I think with these interventions and in future we can also expect, because 2070 is too far. In the meantime, MSME Ministry and Government of India also will come out more scientific and systematic schemes and projects so that we can achieve this net zero by 2070.
मिस्टर शनमुगम, एमएसएमईज के ऑपरेशनल कॉस्ट में पावर की बड़ी हिस्सेदारी होती है। इस खर्च को घटाने में सोलर एनर्जी काफी सपोर्टिव हो सकती है। आप रूफटॉप सोलराइजेशन पर जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं उन्हें कैसे रीड करते हैं?
Yeah, actually, the power is the major component to run the industry. And this rooftop support for the MSMEs is a very good initiative, and many of the companies are adapting to that. And now the expansion of individual entities is now eyeing on and opting for green buildings altogether. So these kind of awareness and these kind of practice has already got initiated well in Tirupur cluster. And I think it would be adapted across the country also, I hope. But the thing is that, again, the cost factor for installation is a concern for MSMEs. So that way only the SIDBI-like organization, financial institutions, and other government agencies which could provide some grants and subsidies need to work in tandem, and they have to facilitate these quick change. These changes to happen in a quick manner. So then automatically all the MSMEs would be geared up to align with the global order, what is being expected.
एसएमई एक्सप्रेस में फिलहाल वक्त ब्रेक का है। ब्रेक के बाद बात होगी स्किल्स की, क्लस्टर मैपिंग की। हम जल्द लौटते हैं। वेलकम बैक। आप देख रहे हैं एसएमई एक्सप्रेस। आज हम फोकस कर रहे हैं ग्रीन और स्किल्स पर। हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं डॉक्टर एस ग्लोरी स्वरूपा, राजा एम शनमुगम और साथ ही हैं अर्नब चक्रवर्ती। अर्नब, हाल ही में पेश किए गए बजट में स्किलिंग के फ्रंट पर 5 नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस सेटअप करने की बात कही गई है। ये करिकुलम डिजाइन, ट्रेनिंग ऑफ ट्रेनर्स, स्किल सर्टिफिकेशन फ्रेमवर्क को कवर करेगा। इस मोर्चे पर क्या आपका कोई सजेशन होगा?
So I represent a program called HERA, which stands for High Impact Entrepreneurs from Emerging Regions for Action. It was launched at the UN House in Delhi in 2018. And we look at skilling in keeping with the UN Sustainable Development Agenda. So more than anything, our focus is on developing mindsets. And for us, any training program to be relevant and effective would need to adopt 3 basic philosophies: existentialism, relativism, and atelism. Now, the second aspect is relativism. Now, relativism is a deep philosophical construct which derives from the non-dual principles of Advaita Vedanta. The third is atelism, and this is my personal favorite. And it's really about playing to stay in the game rather than playing to win. Atelic pursuits are those that comprise never-ending goals, that are constantly evolving and continuously valid. So here, for example, HERA's work on developing self-awareness and developing values such as courage, magnificence, wittiness, fairness, honesty, etc., from which good behaviors flow sustainably and effectively, causing favorable changes in ourselves and in our environments. So I would suggest that when the new model centers of excellence set themselves up, they do not focus only on traditional business skills to be imparted, but also work on values and the virtues that support and host these skills in a manner of speaking.
तो अर्नब, आपने हाई इंपैक्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के साथ स्किल्स पर अपना नजरिया दिया है। अब हम मिस्टर शनमुगम के पास चलते हैं। एमएसएमई सेक्टर 25 करोड़ से ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज देता है। डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के इस दौर में वर्कफोर्स की अपस्किलिंग और रीस्किलिंग को कैसे आप देखते हैं, ताकि मेक फॉर इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को मजबूती मिल सके?
What we feel at the ground is that we lack on upskilling exercise what is required to the clusters like Tripur, because we clamor ourselves that we are having a tradition of 200 years for this textile business. And but this long tradition itself has its limitations on the capabilities and the productivity front. The thing is that if you just compare Bangladesh and Vietnam, which has got a short history, some 30 years or 40 years max, they have overtaken India's dominance in the international market as far as the share quotient is concerned. In spite of we are producing cotton, we are having a cotton growing space comparatively with China, and we are having equally the man-made fiber manufacturing facilities, and we are the number one young workforce available country. They have got into this industry with upskilled manner with the new technologies and techniques comparatively with Indian standards. So thereby we are lagging behind these developing countries. That whatever the upskilling exercise, the entire cluster need to be upskilled, because it's MSMEs. We cannot entrust the entire responsibilities on the individual entities to upskill the existing skilled laborers. Because the thing is that only the corporates do have that wherewithal to upskill within their premises. But the MSMEs requires a handholding support from the government agencies to upskill the cluster in one stroke. So what I wish is that we have to institutionalize this upskilling exercise on the chosen cluster that would perpetuate the culture itself altogether.
आइए अब फाइनल कमेंट्स लेते हैं। डॉक्टर ग्लोरी, जहां तक क्लस्टर की जरूरतों के मुताबिक क्लस्टर मैपिंग की बात है, क्या ये टैलेंट को अट्रैक्ट, डेवलप और रिटेन करने में मददगार साबित हो सकता है? आपकी राय?
Actually, this cluster development is a very impactful approach, because instead of individual entrepreneur, so when we have this cluster approach, at one go we are reaching a group of MSMEs to improve their productivity, improve their quality, and increase their income. All these things happen. And most importantly, the resources are utilized and employment is generated. These are the secondary objectives. But mapping of these clusters and for the same purpose, already in the Spurti scheme, that is scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries, we have the important component of soft skills. Soft interventions. So there are two components. One is hard intervention, that is creation of the common facility center and equip them with the machinery, tools, and other gadgets what is required to increase their productivity and production plus the quality parameters. The soft interventions are basically to upscale their skills, upgrade their skills. So traditionally, whatever they're doing, whether it is handicraft, handloom, artisan-based activity, production, or processing, anything. So the skills are being upgraded in every state. So we are implementing this state rural livelihood mission activities. So under this, lot of this skill building is happening in the campus at Hyderabad and also across the states.
अर्नब, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम्स की अहमियत को आप कैसे देखते हैं?
There has been a lot of development on district development missions in India in recent years, with focused approaches as the ODOP, the one district, one product in certain states, and other models with mixed success. any provincial level, be it at a district or a village, a development program, in my view, needs to be multi-stakeholder, multidisciplinary, and multi-year. Also, as I mentioned earlier, to develop a robust, competitive ecosystem, one needs to work on both skills and mindset of those who are contributing, including that of officers who are making various features of various programs available. Local senior entrepreneurs need to be invited to be part of any district development mission, and from its very inception and planning. So you cannot train an entrepreneur with respect to behaviors. You could inspire the entrepreneur, and here senior entrepreneurs play a very, very important role. Some of them can also go on to become role models in designing and development of programs on the ground. Second, an asset needs to be designed and developed at the village or district levels that addresses community problems or community opportunities. And this asset, to my mind, is best designed as a formal public-private partnership, a structured setup which then can attract both grants and subsidies from various schemes of the government, as well as lend to social impact investment at later stages. Third, the project companies could be set up as common facility centers and assist already existing industries in the area to become more competitive and resilient. This way, they get more buy-in from the local available industries.
और आइए अब लास्ट वर्ड लेते हैं मिस्टर षणमुगम से। आपका एमएसएमईज के लिए इस बदलते दौर में क्या मैसेज होगा?
So I wish that MSMEs need to cope up with the global standards, what has been demanded, and the government agencies also need to handhold the MSMEs to attain the set objective of getting into the green mode of operation. So I think this is very much possible, and only thing is that as Arnabji has just told, that the mindset has to be properly set towards that set objective, and once that has been done, then automatically we will be reaching to the standard, and we have a huge potential to grow.
एसएमई एक्सप्रेस के आज के सेशन में इतना ही। ग्रीन के साथ स्किल्स पर अपना नजरिया देने के लिए डॉक्टर एस ग्लोरी स्वरूपा, डायरेक्टर जनरल एनआई एमएसएमई, राजा एम षणमुगम, पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट तिरुपुर एक्सपोर्टर्स एसोसिएशन, और अर्नब चक्रवर्ती, डायरेक्टर इंडिया यूनाइटेड नेशंस एमप्रोटेक्ट प्रोग्राम, आप सभी का शुक्रिया। अगले सेशन में मुलाकात होगी नई थीम के साथ। फिलहाल इतना ही। नमस्कार।